All right. Extremity expands capacity. One of my mentors says that quite a bit, and it's really rung true for me. There's been points where I was really pushing. I was doing so many different things, and I've been told, like, I had people say, like, you got a lot of irons in the fire. I'm like, yeah, I do. And so, but there's been times where I didn't do that, where I'm like, no, I'm doing too much. I need to slow it down. You need to slow down. You're gonna burn yourself out. All these things that you hear from people who are maybe a little less driven than you. And if you're a driven person, you know what I mean. But people who are maybe not as driven as you, or people who don't understand what you're doing, or don't see it, or don't push as hard. And so, if you're someone who wants to live a different life from everyone else, you have to do things differently than everyone else. And so the people who get it, and the people who don't. And not much you can do about that sometimes. But some people are just wired differently, and it is what it is. But for me, the times where I tried to rest and slow down and take it easy, that's the times I've been the most miserable. That's the times where I was just kind of felt lazy. That's the times where physically I got the most out of shape. All those different times where it's like, I need to rest. I need to take it easy. I need to take a step back. That's when my life didn't literally fall apart, but there started to crack and crumble on the things I was doing. I was less effective and less efficient in every area of my life. You know, Whenever I'm really pushing hard, and there's been seasons of my life, and I believe it's seasons. It's hard to do it full blast all the time, but during the seasons when I'm all in, I'm like pushing on my taking care of my body. I'm pushing on learning new things and reading and doing courses. And I'm pushing in the business. I'm pushing with my wife. I'm pushing with my kids. I'm trying to be a good dad, a good husband, a good business owner, a good leader of organizations that I have. All these different things. When I'm pushing it, am I executing 100% and hitting every mark? Maybe not. Probably not. Rarely are you going to hit everything you're trying to achieve, right? It's going to take time. You're going to miss things. You got to regroup and push it up. But when I was pushing those things, I was locked in. I was effective. I was efficient. I was firing on all cylinders. And I'm just going hard. And is there times where you're burnt out? Yeah, you might. There's been times where, like, once or twice a year, I'll just have like a day where I sleep for like 14 hours, once or twice a year. But I talked about this a different time about self-caring yourself to death. But like, I'm not doing that 3 days a week. That's happening once or twice a year, where like I'm just like, man, I need some sleep, and I crash out for 12, 14 hours and just sleep. But again, it's very seldom. But those times where I'm like, okay, like, maybe I need to be a better business person than a husband, or you know a better dad than in my business. Well, not only did I struggle in the things I pulled back from, but then I didn't I didn't feel as good. I wasn't as confident. I didn't The confidence comes from the execution. And when you're executing on things, it builds your confidence. It builds your ability to believe in yourself, to go and do things, and the way you feel about yourself. You feel better about yourself when you keep the promises you make to yourself. We talk about lying to others, but really, think about how detrimental it is when you lie to yourself. All the things that you tell yourself you're going to do, you're going to accomplish, you're going to go after, and when you don't do those things, think about how it tears you apart inside. That internal fight of, can I really do these things? Am I who I say I am? Can I do the things I say I want to do? How can you be confident when you've been lying to yourself for years? You have no confidence. And so the times I've executed the most is when I was pushing it. It was extreme. It's like, man, you guys do a lot. You're, again, just to use Courtney and myself as an example. Like, we've had people say, "Oh, you need to slow down. You're doing too much. Like, you got this business. You're building this. You got 4 kids. You're serving here. You're leading this. You're doing this. You're taking, you know, this stuff to these people and doing things. Like, you're just going, 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 going." And like, yeah, we are. It's a busy life. It's a seasonal life. We have businesses. We have 4 little kids. We serve in different organizations. We serve in our church. We serve in other organizations. We're leaders in different organizations. We lead our own organizations. Um, it's constant. It's nonstop, and it never stops. But guess what? The extremity expands our capacity. The more we push, the more we figure out how to do it, the more efficient we get, the more we're able to delegate to our team and to other people and make things happen. And the further things go, and the more gets accomplished. And is it tough? Yes. Is it stressful? Yes. But guess what is also stressful? It's stressful when you sit around and do nothing and you feel like you're not doing anything with your life. You feel purposeless. You feel like you're not, you have nowhere to go, nowhere to do. You see no way out of the situation you're in. That's stressful. So there's stress everywhere. You just have to pick your stress. Okay. And so do you want to be stressed because your life sucks and you feel miserable, you don't know what you want to do, you have nothing to do, you feel like you don't contribute to anything? Or do you want to be stressed because you're going all out, pedal to the metal, and you're involved here, you're doing this, you're kind of burning the candle at both ends, so to speak, and you're stressed out, but you feel good, you're doing things, you're building something for yourself, you're building something for your family, you're serving others, you're getting involved, you're interacting with other people, people are impacting you, you're impacting them. What kind of stress do you want? Because stress comes in every direction. Stress comes in every phase of life. You just got to pick the kind of stress you want. And so, again, extremity expands the capacity. So you got to just pick what you want to do and go do it. And I really do believe that because, again, I've been there. I've been in both situations and in between where, I did an event and I hurt my knee, pretty badly, and I was like, all right, I'll take a rest, and then I'm take a month off and just let my knee get right, and I'll get back to it. Well, that honestly, that month really turned into a good part of a year, most of a year, where I was doing stuff, but I wasn't consistent. I'd hit it hard for a few days, and then I'd be sore. I'd take a few days off or whatever, and then hit it hard for 2 days, not really do much for a week, and then so it can expand, it can grow, and it can turn into something more. And so that's why the discipline, the routine, building the self confidence, the grit, the fortitude, all those things that you have to go. And that whether you want to build a business, build a career, have a great family, it's all intentional. It's all takes work. It takes time. It takes stress. Stress is a good thing. And we demonize stress like it's something bad, but we have stress, and stress can be good or bad. It depends on how you take it and how you react to it and what you do with it. You stress a muscle, it grows. You stress test things, they break. You figure out what to fix it, and then you can make them better. Stress can be used in such a great way if you let it be, but it can also be detrimental and tear your body and your life apart if you let it. And so again, you're going to have stress no matter what. Get over it. That's part of life. What are you going to do with the stress? How are you going to use the stress? You're going to use it for good. You're going to use it for bad. You're going to let it tear down your life or build up your life. You get to pick. No one picks for you. But extremity can expand your capacity, and you pick how extreme you want it to go and how big you want to make it, regardless of what that is: the health, business, family, serving, whatever that is, your job. But you can do more than you think. You just have to be willing to do it and serve and give, and you can figure out a way to get it done. And if you can't, you can't, but you're still going to be stressed. So don't avoid stress. Go after it, make it happen, and just remember that taking it easy and trying to just push things aside and be good at one thing, that's not going to fix your thing. Because, and again, I've talked to other people about this and I experienced this myself when I was like, okay, I need to focus on being a good dad. Then my business suffered and other things suffered, and I felt like crap. And then I ended up, because I felt like crap, not executing even what I was trying to execute. Okay, I need to focus on the business, so now I got to kind of push some other things to the side. Well, now because I know I'm lacking and I'm not doing a good job in these areas and I feel like crap about it, now that's flooding over into this other area, and I'm not performing at the highest level. The times I've been at the best level, the most peak performance where I was executing and getting lots of stuff done across the board, is when I'm pushing it in every area. And that means is I'm hitting it 100%, probably not. But am I hitting 85, 90, 95% in a lot of these areas? Yes. And then are you stressed? Stress is part of life. Get used to it, get over it. It's not going anywhere. Am I, getting tired? Yeah, there's times I'm tired. There's times but it's part of the game. It's part of life. And that doesn't matter if you have a business, if you have a career, if you have a family, like that is what it is. Acknowledge it. We don't need to talk about it anymore. Get over it because it's not going away. So either let it ruin your life and dictate your life, or take control of it and just manage it and figure out how you're going to use it to better yourself. And that is what it is. So guys, extremity expands capacity. Go out and make it happen, and embrace the stress.